Now our next series subject is like the days are getting shorter. We don't know what's happening, and now we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, just if you weren't depressed though.
Yeah. This is all brought
No,
to you by Ricky Gervais. And Ricky Gervais is like he's a huge animal activist. And he was on Conan. He's doing a video called With Conan. And they were talking about debt. And generally, for the last probably year or so, all of Ricky Gervais' interviews have been around debt. And this is because he has a new series out called Afterlife, where it follows this man and it follows his life after his wife dies and shows like him suffering from all the post depression that people suffer from after they lose a loved one, and it kind of deals with death in kind of a real dark humored way, which Ricky Gervais is known for. So he was talking to Conan about death, and they're kind of saying, "How would you like to go out?" And it's a kind of interesting enough subject why that you're talking about, like how would you like to die, basically. And he said to Conan that he wants to be fed to the lions, give something back to like basically the animal kingdom after. For years of their habitats being destroyed, it'd be like, here, eat one of us, as a way to like kind of give back.
was he actually being serious?
I imagine no. I imagine he was just kind of taking the piss a bit. Like a lot of these lions are in sanctuaries protected from like hunters. They're not going to take a dead body and go, here, chop this up and feed it to the lions over there. He kind of said the reason he wants to do it is because amusing to see Thor's face when a fat naked body is thrown out to the lions. And
That would kind of be funny.
and he goes, oh, there goes the bloke from the office. And so that's why he said, I think he was taking a piss a bit. They got on to talking, and they both kind of agreed how they don't want to go out. And is there any way, like, you do not want to be found when you die?
Found or die? Like, anyway you don't want to die, or anyway you don't want to be found?
Let's go with both. Like, found, let's go with found first, and then we'll go into ways you don't want to die.
Well, found I don't really care, because, like, you're dead, so
You don't really, yeah.
it's not going to bother you.
You probably don't want to be found, like, in an embarrassing way.
Yeah, but, like, the chances of you being found in an embarrassing way are very slim.
Yeah, that is true. One way I don't want to die is being eaten by a bear.
Well, the chances of that are also very slim.
They are. I kind of live my life like in a way that I won't be eaten by a bear, because a bear basically holds you down and eats you from the genitals up. Like that is
like,
not a good way to go out.
Unless you're one of those fucking morons that jumps into
Goes on hikes in bear country.
No, it jumps into a bear enclosure in the zoo. Chances are that living in Ireland, you're fairly safe from bears.
Fairly safe from being eaten by a bear. Like, if that's the only way you don't want to die, like, there's a pretty good chance of it.
I don't fancy drowning.
Drowning? Yeah. Why not drowning though?
That would be fairly horrible now.
Imagine it's like being like, other than the panic of, oh, I'm drowning, like you just go to sleep.
Yeah, but it'd be rotten. You know that like feeling of not being able to breathe and
Yeah.
like I don't particularly fancy that now.
Or dying of hypothermia in the cold.
That'd be fairly shite as well.
Yeah, well, it would be just leading up to like it, because you'd be freezing. You'd be like, oh, this is awful. My hands are cold, feet are cold, and then you die. Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great now.
Yeah. When we are picking kind of like ordinary ways, or maybe not ordinary ways, like, well, stuff that like most people agree with. Ricky Gervais and Conan both agreed that they don't want to die or be found while masturbating in on a closet while hanging themselves.
You see, you'd have to question what the fuck they'd be up to.
Well, he said, well, if I am found like that, I'm not into any of that right now. So it's obviously somebody stitched me up if he is found in a closet while masturbating.
That's what somebody who would be into that stuff but scared of like accidentally dying while doing it would say.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like I always said, like I wouldn't like to die and then shit myself. Like you don't want to be covered in shit so that you're found and he's like, oh, what's that smell? And you realize that the person who's dead has just shit himself.
Yeah, I definitely think that happens a lot, though.
Yeah, we were talking about this off air, and you're saying everybody shits himself. So I asked Google, and this is what Google said.
On the website lebrutes.com, they say, as organs decompose, capillaries break open and blood leaks into the body, giving the skin a purple color tone. Bodily fluids eventually begin to weep from every crevice, including the ears and nose, to name a few.
Yeah, so I imagine
that was a different answer to fucking earlier.
Oh, I said I didn't know. That's why I said what happens when you die. Do you shit yourself when you die? And they're like, I don't understand you. But yeah,
he didn't go into like fucking veins and
capillaries
last time.
Yeah, exactly. So if it comes out of every crevice, like if you start weeping stuff from your ears, imagine you're going to start weeping stuff from your ass.
Yeah.
So like, imagine if you were caught masturbating in a closet that while hanging yourself, that you're probably going to be naked. So you won't shit yourself anyway. So that's probably a positive for the hanging while masturbating. Is at least you won't be found shitting yourself.
That's a pro of that then.
Yeah, you'll just be like you shit on the ground while masturbating, while hanging yourself. It'll be two separate things. But I guess if everybody shits himself, then it's just normal.
Yeah, like that's the thing is, like a woman who recently had a baby, like maybe say stuff like, the thing that they don't tell you is that you're going to shit yourself
while having a kid.
Yeah, they're like, nobody talks about this. Like, you're going to shit yourself when you're having a kid.
It makes sense though. It has to clear away. Yeah.
And, like that's another thing. Like, nobody talks about the fact that you're going to shit yourself when you die.
Yeah, until now. Until now is what we should say. Until now, people don't talk about you shitting yourself until you die. When you die.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah, but like it is kind of something that we just don't think about. I think the best way to die, if there is a good way to die, because we're all going to die, is just to die in your sleep. I think most people will agree, die in your sleep is the best way, because then you just never wake up.
Yeah, or something mental.
Or getting smothered in a giant pair of tits. But not
that went 0 to 100 very quick.
but not in the fat girl's ass.
Oh, Jesus.
Two different ways to go
out. Two very different ways to go out. And what if she dies at the same time and she ends up shitting on you?
She had a heart attack.
That's how you died. You like fucking you ended up inhaling shit.
Well, they'd be smothered there. Like, yeah, but that's not a sight that anybody wants to see. Like, two people shit themselves. One shit themselves on somebody's face. Yeah, well, that'll teach you for having sex with a girl who has heart conditions and is overweight. That's just a chance you take doing a 69 with a person like that.
Maybe you don't know that she has a heart condition.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think our listeners now should ask if they are, because or at least just don't do the 69, or ask to be on top. Ask to be on top would probably would be my advice to our listeners.
Be the shitter rather than shitty.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody's going to get shit on, I'd rather be the one doing the shitting, personally. Yeah, this is taking a weird turn. So that
that started off. Ricky Gervais wants to be fed to lions when he dies.
And ended
imagine
up
he died smothered in shit.
It's the way the show goes.